Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So, thank you for joining. The topic that we will be talking about today is a continuation of what I started last week. And the topic is the meaning of self love. Uh, in the last week, I covered why talking about self love, and the reason of this topic is because I believe it's the starting point for any journey that we want to enhance our life, find comfort within ourselves. And as I mentioned last week, it's a journey. It's not something that we can just learn and be fine with. It's not about being selfish. It's not about saying, I love myself. Some people might feel that they can say that. For me personally, it was hard. I was very clear and honest a few years ago that I don't like myself, and I felt that it was something that I was okay with, and it felt also that it's selfless. So I'm being selfless when I say I don't like myself. So, what I came to find as a huge life changing realization that for me, self love is kind of an agreement that I accept myself the way that I am and I respect myself. It is an agreement of forgiveness, to forgive myself, to forgive life, to forgive everyone and anyone who have done any damage to my life, that I give them sort of responsibility for hating myself or my life. So the idea is a new start. It's an agreement that I commit to few steps and principles to change the way that I look to my life and to the way that I look to myself, and take full responsibility for that. So the other point that I found in self-love is that it doesn't mean that I need to be always positive, always feeling in love, always as we imagine love to be, that it's the good feeling, the positive feeling all the time, the highs all the time. It's not about that. It's literally about accepting that I have strength and I have weaknesses, and I accept them both, and I am willing to be transparent and honest with myself in both those areas that I am fine with. So this is what we start with. We moved next to the principles. We talked about forgiveness, the idea of forgiving ourselves. And a very important point in forgiving ourselves is forgiving life and our life, and forgiving all the things that happen to us and the people who maybe have created some difficulties in our life. The idea of being our best friend, the idea of defining self-respect, and we stopped there. So we talked about those 3 points, and today I will just recover quickly those 3 points, and then we will move to the next point, which is doing what is necessary, not what we basically what we need, not necessarily what we want, following our passion and being creative, finding our purpose, which is one of the most important things in our journey to really love ourselves and love our life, and staying connected with the people that we love, and finally giving without waiting for any return. So this, and I will give you a quick exercise that will be good if you can try, and let me know how does it feel. So the idea of forgiveness, and I will talk about this briefly, it's mainly around accepting that the people that we were in the time that we did any mistake, that we still have any shame or blame for, are different from now. And this changing in our personality will continue to happen. So the shame or blame is a way of thinking. If we want to shame ourselves or blame ourselves for what we have done before, we are taking this way of thinking, and what that means is now what we are happy that we are doing, we will be shaming and blaming ourselves for in the next 5 or 10 years, because this is a mindset, this is a way of thinking. So if we want to get rid of this way of thinking, what we can see, anything that we have done in the past, is something that we have done with the best intention and something that we must have learned from, and that's it. So we have done our best in the past, we have learned from it, and the past is the past. Now we are today, we do our best, and maybe tomorrow, and maybe we need to learn from what we are doing today, so we improve to the change that will continue to happen in our life. So this idea, because I was stuck for years and years with shaming and blaming myself, and of course shaming and blaming life and the society and everything that I was against, and the way that was changing a lot for me is shifting this mentality to how can I learn from this and move on, because change will continue to happen. So starting with forgiveness is also the idea of taking the load from your shoulders, of carrying on all the past with you and just letting go of that past and starting new. The next step that I found was really helpful is the agreement that I will be my best friend. I will be my best friend meant to me that I will treat myself as my best friend. I won't talk to myself in a way that I won't talk to my best friend. I will be aware of the way that I am talking to myself. I will look after myself. I am my best friend. I am literally someone who accepts myself fully, unlimited, unrestricted, unconditional. And with that, if anything that I found I'm disagreeing with myself, there is a conflict, there is a disagreement between me and myself, I will talk to myself as if I'm talking to my friend, and I will try to solve this conflict, not shut up the voice that I don't like. The other thing that was also life-changing within the idea of being my best friend is to enjoy the time that I have with myself. So instead of looking at this time as either being afraid of this time, because for a long time I was afraid of being alone, dying alone, and I accepted this feeling. I accepted that I have this fear, but also this is the situation that I am in at this moment. So let me see what is missing when I am by myself. What is missing when I spend time going to the beach alone. Let me enjoy the silence in the same way that I enjoy the conversation. Let me enjoy the quietness in the same way that I enjoy the busyness. So enjoying the opposites, enjoying things that I might feel a idea, like an idea that I had before, that I will not enjoy this. Let me become curious about it and see what is missing in it and what is the beauty in it at the same time. So trying to do things that I would enjoy doing with others by myself was something that I was discovering. I was discovering dancing alone instead of dancing with others. And that was a big thing for me. Like, I used to dance with a guy that I met before, and it was like very interesting thing. It was amazing. And then when we were not together anymore, it started to become something I was wondering. I miss the dancing, so why not to dance by myself? What is missing with that? And I start with curiosity, trying to do those activities and enjoy them by myself, finding the enjoyment in them. So curiosity is a big thing in doing any activity that we might be complaining between ourselves, like I don't want to do this by myself. So approach it with curiosity and see what happens. Self-respect. Self-respect is also a big part of self-love, because if we think about the core of love, the core of love is respect. Respect, love without respect is meaningless. It doesn't have any meaning. So respecting ourselves, starting with that concept about respecting ourselves, defining what respect is, understanding what does respecting myself mean, and finding our own definition is a good thing, actually. That I respect myself, for example, for me, I was respecting myself by treating myself with respect in anything that I buy. I respect the things that I buy for myself. I buy things with care and with respect. I learned to say comfortably no about things that I don't agree with and I'm not happy with and I don't want to do. So that was a challenging thing because I am a person who is a people pleaser, and saying no was a practice that I had to take stages to get to. So in the first stage, instead of saying no, I would say, let me think about it, so I get enough time to build my courage and understand exactly whether I want to do it or not, and then say yes or no. So I couldn't just say no and feel okay with it. So I took one step before that, and I was just trying to build my confidence in the time that I'm thinking about it. Follow my commitments, which was my commitments to myself, which was something I thought about for a long time. Why I can go to work, wake up every morning at 6 o'clock to go to work, but if I want to do something for myself at 6 o'clock, I can't do that. I can't follow my commitment to myself. So I learned that this is one of the things that I really need to look into, why I cannot do the commitment to myself, but I can commit to others. And I started to take responsibility in the commitments. I start not to fail myself by saying, I will start tomorrow, knowing that between me and myself, deep inside, that I'm not going to do it tomorrow. It's just, it is just something that I'm saying to do what I want to do in that moment. So I started to look into that and learning to not say false commitments to myself, not to promise myself things that I know that I want to do, as part of the respect to myself. And that was something hard because it's only me and myself, no one knows about it, but it is huge in taking our life seriously. That if I say I'm gonna start exercising tomorrow and I won't do it, and I promised myself the day after and I won't do it, I will sit and reflect and say, okay, are you going to give me the same promise and not do it again? Or you don't want to do that promise, or you want to do the promise and actually do the action of the promise. So I stopped here because it is a very important part of self-love, and we mainly and generally take it very easy that we just promise ourselves and it's me and myself, no one else. But why do we do that to ourselves and we can't dare to do it to others? So there is something missing here that I need to look into and reflect on. And on the other hand, also celebrating my small achievements, celebrating the things that I do and I say I'm gonna do and I do. I buy myself gifts, I celebrate with a nice meal, I do a dance, I allow myself to feel happy, and I consciously see those things and celebrate them with myself. The other thing that I want to stop on here is taking full responsibility, which is part of defining self-respect for me, is taking responsibility and refusing to be a victim in life. I remember the day that I remember it as I stand up and I say, I don't want to be a victim anymore. And not to be a victim mean I refuse to see myself as a victim anymore. I don't want to see myself as victim. So what I need to do in this case is exactly like being a manager of an organization or a company, and stand strong even if things are hard. So if a leader or a manager in a company or in an organization, when things are difficult, says we are victims, we things are happening to us, we can't do anything about it, you can't take that person with respect. They are failing in the very first instant of challenge. But when you find a manager or a leader who are saying, we can do it, we will come over this challenge no matter how hard it is, we can do this together and we can stand strong in it, you will have full respect for that person. And exactly the same is me with myself. I will take full responsibility of any challenging